Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Kat here. These are the highlights of our trip to the Mexican Riviera on January 2023 on the Discovery Princess. Before our cruise, we decided to spend a few days in the Los Angeles area. We live on the East Coast and did not want to be rushed with a last-minute flight. Air travel these days is totally unpredictable, so make sure to give yourself plenty of time to make the trip to your embarkation port so you don't end up stressed before the vacation even starts. Princess cruises normally leave out of San Pedro, but make sure to check your embarkation information before you go. Remember, there are two cruise terminals in LA, San Pedro and Long Beach. Specific berth information for your ship can be found at the Ports America website. For our stay in LA, we booked a hotel in Santa Monica for 3 nights. We stayed at the Shore Hotel and I highly recommend it. I will add a link in the description below. The location is great, right across from the Santa Monica Pier, and if you book a room with an ocean view, you will have the most amazing sunsets. The hotel is also the Santa Monica Pier stop for the hop-on, hop-off bus. We took this tour, and while it's not the most amazing tour that you will ever take, it's a good way to see the highlights of the city, and you can hop off if anything spikes your interest. Just remember, if you go in the winter, take a jacket. LA can get very cold. The temperature while we were there was between 40s and 50s, but the breeze made it feel so much colder than that. This was our first time cruising with any of the Princess ships. The Discovery Princess is a beautiful ship, and so it should be. It is still a brand new ship, with its maiden voyage completed less than a year ago from the time this video is made. The decor is very classy, with marble floors, lots of golden accents, and blue details throughout. The ship follows a more traditional layout, with the plaza in the middle and the main dining rooms at the front and the theater at the aft. The plaza is a space for lots of entertaining, from jugglers to a mariachi band, dance lessons, beautiful violin music, and everything in between. There are also shops and restaurants spread throughout its 3 floors. Pero tú llevas también sabor a mí y dejarás mi presencia en tu vivir. Basta llegar a abrazarte y conversar. Tanta vida yo te di que por fuerza llevarías sabor a mí. There are also some other entertainment areas like the Vista Lounge with more intimate shows like The Best of Michael Bublé and Princess Life, which normally had trivia and more interactive performances. The theater shows are more traditional musical styles with dance and pop music. In my opinion, Princess gets bonus points for this type of theater as opposed to the more modern shows with lots of strobe lights and weird acrobatics, which is the direction that Celebrity and Royal Caribbean seems to be going lately. The pool decks on the Discovery Princess are beautifully done. However, the weather on the strip was definitely on the cold side, and not many people were out in the sun. We tried it only once when we were docked in Mazatlan, but even though the pool was warm, it gets really cold once you step out of the water. Everybody was covered in towels, and we just decided to go back to our room. We also tried the sanctuary. I had seen many reviews of this area before we traveled, and it seemed to be highly recommended. We did have priority boarding for being in a suite, so we were lucky to still find a cabana available as we made a beeline to the sanctuary as soon as we boarded the ship, as many people had suggested. We spent an afternoon there on a sea day, but my view is that unless you have better weather, this space is not really worth the $140 for the afternoon. They do serve tea service if you book it for the afternoon, which is very good, but it got really cold up there, and we didn't even stay until 5 p.m. Cabo San Lucas was an amazing stop. We took a whale watching excursion on a double-decker boat, which was one of the best that we have ever done. We went by the famous arch in Lovers Beach. There are plenty of whales to see, and if you don't mind the choppy waters, you may want to take a Zodiac type of boat, as they are smaller and can get much closer to the whales. On the other hand, I prefer a bit more of a larger boat so that I don't get nauseated. If you've ever been on a whale watching tour, you know that most of the time you don't get to see a full whale breach out of the water. You see tails, you see fins, you see blows, but not a whole body jump. We were so lucky that we got to see for the first time ever a full breach. It was one of those incredible life moments that you just don't ever forget. I only caught the half of the jump in the video, but it was truly amazing. Our excursion to Mazatlan was canceled before we even left home. This was kind of a sore spot with Princess because it's the first time that we cruise with Princess Cruises and they canceled the excursion without any notification and they did not issue a refund or an onboard credit for it. Many calls to their customer service and we still only got our money back after disputing the charge with our credit card company. So we didn't book anything prior to our trip, and we played it by ear. The day was warm and sunny, so we walked out of the port and found a local city tour. We paid about $30 per person for about 3 hours of tour. Our guide was nice and accommodating to whatever we wanted to do. There were about 8 people in the van plus a driver. We saw the Cliff Divers, the Malecon, which is a long avenue that runs parallel to the beach, downtown with its colorful houses, and the cathedral. Go inside the cathedral if you stop here. It's absolutely beautiful. We also stopped at a local gallery where you can buy excellent ceramic pieces. We didn't have great expectations for this stop, but it was absolutely worth seeing. In Puerto Vallarta, we went on a beach break excursion that took us to the Marival Resort Hotel. This is the further south that the ship goes, so the warmest port, especially for this time of the year. It was warm enough to sit by the beach or the pool, but not enough to get in the water. The Pacific Ocean is cold no matter what, and we were even told that it's cold even in the hottest of the summers. The resort was nicely appointed. The food was okay for a lunch buffet. The only thing to know is that even though the resort is an all-inclusive for the people that are staying here, you cannot just use any restaurant or bar on the property with your day passes. Make sure to check with your guide or the hotel staff the places that you will have access to. Overall, I don't think Princess is the right line for us. It was a good trip, but there are some things that are just not as good in comparison to what we used to. Princess has to do something about their billing system and customer care team. We had issues before even boarding. Apparently, it is quite common for excursions to be canceled and you just don't get notified. Even worse, not being reimbursed for it. We also had issues with onboard credit not even showing up in our account, so we ended up having to go to guest services a couple of times. One of the other major issues is the bed. It might work well for some people that like firm mattress, But if you expect a plush pillow top bed, this is definitely not the right cruise for you. We had a hard time getting a good night of sleep and came back more tired than we even went. Not good when you are on vacation. The last thing worth mentioning is that if you book a room after the ship, you will see a lot of dirt on your balcony. So much so that the carpet in the room was very dirty already, even though the ship is new. We had sunset rooms before with balcony that was not so dirty, and I think the problem is that the room attendants are stretched so thin that they do not have time to clean the balconies. Ours was not clean, not even once, which is a shame for such a beautiful, beautiful sunset balcony.